All right, so you're saying that Congress is going to vote to repeal the Go-to-War Act with Iraq. Well, okay, so cool.
Well, they're talking about it right now.
Right, they're talking about it. But that's great, right? So it's like...
It's enough of a reality that the White House has come up with a statement against it.
Okay, but so what's the statement?
We're going to resist it, and basically it's not going to change anything we do.
Okay, so...
I haven't read it all, but I just heard it.
Well, you know what then? Whoever came up with the idea, if it's Pelosi, she's an effing genius, and if not her, then whoever it was, whoever came up with the idea,
it's been talked
it basically it lays down the challenge. Say, look, you need to end this war now. President comes out and resists. So now Congress just comes out and says, all right, you see it, America. This president, we Congress, and we're representing you, America, right now. We're in power, and we're saying, bam, end this war. We don't want it anymore.
Well, that's the House has really already said that.
And if the president's going to resist, then fine.
Here's the problem: you don't have a veto-proof majority in the Senate. You could do it, possibly do it in the House, but it's not going to get by the Senate because they'll filibuster it. Well, you need 60 votes in the Senate.
Right. But, okay. So they got to. Okay. But yeah. Then so what 60 senators are going to say? No, I want the war to continue. I want more Americans to die. I want more Iraqis to get killed, and stuff like that. I mean, what senator is going to side with that?
Well, that's part of the political aspect of it all. Is it forces every single person, every single senator. The Republicans don't want to vote on it. I mean, what are they doing? Let's promote democracy in Iraq, and oh, by the way, while we're doing that, we're going to squelch democracy. The free give and take of ideas, which is the core of democracy. We're going to squelch democracy in the Senate. Now, they look stupid. And it'll eventually happen. There'll be a debate. I mean, it'll have to be. I can't see that many massive egos not allowing themselves the time on TV. Okay. So
but what are they going to debate? What are they going to argue?
It all depends on the numbers.
Yeah, but also
they'll probably know before the vote if the numbers are there.
But it's like if the president barely has 32% approval on this war, and especially on the war,
40%. Yeah.
40%. It's gone up. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about in the Congress. You're right.
What's the president's approval rating?
He has somewhat less than 1 in 3 people supporting him on this war.
Less than 1 in 3. So one in 3, but it's a lot closer to 1 in 4. So it's like I mean it's like if our
right now he's Bush is saying thank God for Andy Nicole because it's keeping him down in the news. Right. In other words, it would all be about him and the stupidity of this war.
Right. But I mean, it's like, well, it has to be done because it's the will of the American people that the war is over. The war be ended, that people stop dying. I mean, and it's like, well, if we end up in whatever kind of weird situation where, well, there's still this quasi-anarchy in Iraq, well, we'll live with it.
You need to remember this. From the Tet Offensive onward, which occurred in 1968, right? We didn't leave Vietnam until 1973.
Yeah.
Okay, from the Tet Offensive onward in Vietnam, a majority of the American people wanted us out of that war. Okay? They looked upon it as unwinnable, not worth the effort, and just leave. The best thing we can do. It took, from 68 on, it took 5 more years before they could find a way to, the term is peace with honor, but what it really means is we'll get out, you stay out for a long enough time that we don't look like we're abandoning these people.
Oh, okay.
And, the possibilities out there that maybe they'll be able to defend themselves. Of course they wouldn't because North Vietnam would have Russia and Red China on its back.
Right. But it's like, so this was what Kissinger did.
The walk in the garden.
Right.
Where it had to be. It could never be recorded. It was such a sellout of our allies.
Uh-huh.
And Kissinger, as far as I'm concerned, he's as bad a human being as there is on Earth because of the amount of genocide that's directly attributable to his decisions.
Yeah.
And he had to know it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's enough of a student of real politics to know it.
Well, isn't he kind of like he accepted that? He accepted that would be his.
I heard there was
life.
30 people in the State Department one time voted on a given issue, and it was 30-1, and Kissinger was the one, and he overruled it. All of his advisors were telling him, "Don't do it this way."
Right.
But you know what? I mean, it was a team. Him and the megalomaniac Richard Nixon, who had no small enemies. If you crossed him in any way, no matter how long ago, and no matter how noble your cause was, he literally had enemies lists, and he'd use the FBI and the CIA and the tools of the federal government to attack you.
Right.
Now,
but luckily, our current president doesn't have that. He doesn't have these vendettas.
Well,
right?
I think.
But doesn't it seem to you that he, like in his speeches, that he's kind of in a pissing contest with Congress over, who's in authority?
Sure. Even the Republicans. I mean, do you think they want him as president right now? Makes the whole party look bad.
Yeah.
He's going to cost. They know, the majority of the Republicans know that it'll probably cost them a large number. I can't say now how many. It's going to cost them a large number of seats in 2008 in the election,
right.
And it's going to cost them the presidency. They're going to lose the presidency unless the Democrats run Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
And
that's what I heard the other day too. Is like, well, the Democrats should run a weak. They should get a weak,
they should run as good a candidate.
It's like, well, that was Kerry. I mean, if anything, that was Kerry then, because if like people really didn't like him.
I think they thought Kerry's a war hero, and plus, a lot of the old liberals love Kerry because they remember what he did in
Vietnam.
Not only in Vietnam, he's an unquestioned war hero.
Well, no, but it's when he threw his Purple Heart over the fence, right?
I don't know if he ever did that.
No, he did that. He said he threw the ribbon. He didn't throw the medal.
Okay.
So,
Anyway, but he was also...
Which was like really smart.
Where Kerry became famous, nobody knew him for being a war hero except his immediate family, his men.
I had never heard of Kerry. Until it was,
because his cause died out in 1973.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you took the liberal causes in America had so many of their eggs in the anti-war basket. When the war ended,
these guys just
it's kind of inevitable. You had this run of Republican and conservative presidents because it was all tied up in the war,
right?
And it just let all the air out.
Okay, and that's where like the weird stuff of
you know that name,
that's where like the weird stuff of talking about if you're a war veteran or a Vietnam vet it's kind of this weird social taboo. It's like and some people spoke of it as a distinction, but more often than not, it's like you just didn't really hear about it. It was something that it just really seemed that nobody really wants to talk about or really wanted to talk about unless it was for entertainment value. Of some sort.
Was.
And that's
nobody wanted to talk about the subject for years.
Yeah.
You know me, I love to read war stories.
Yeah,
I didn't want to read about that war.
It just really seemed that people were just not happy, not satisfied.
It took me years before I could read about that war.
Yeah,
it was too much.
And it's because
there was too much intergenerational stuff for one thing.
But it's also like
it's one of the main points of contentions between parents and
there and the fact that it's like it's people you knew. You would know some people.
Yeah, and I had a friend, pretty good friend, die over there.
Yeah.
And I had a couple other friends who I think it just ruined them. They were really decent people before then. It just turned them into alcoholic slobs.
Yeah.
And,
I was thinking about that the other day, and it's like join the army, and by the way, expect to be exposed and have the really the viability like the chance to become a alcoholic.
Yeah.
I mean there's so many people.
That thing on NPR today about
and
these rotations,
you
can just chart it in divorces,
suicides,
alcoholism. I mean, you can just see the increase in all the.
And the reason why is because there's so many people just emotionally. Emotionally wounded.
What they figure in World War II that after 60, they had some numbers like 64 days or something. It was or 143. I don't know, some